pre-production was crazy, because I already decided that I wanted to shoot this myself. I usually get in a cinematographer or a DOP. I always do that. Even though, over the last few years, I've shot short films for friends. I pride myself on pushing myself, learn something new beyond what you would normally learn on a short film. I give myself a very special task in every short film to learn something. And this film was no different. I decided that I wanted to camera handle and direct at the same time. I wanted to see if I can do that skill. And so I knew I'd be operating the camera. But 10 days pre-production was crazy. Now, the other thing I usually do is storyboard. I didn't get a chance to storyboard on this. My other two short films for festivals, both of them were storyboarded. This was not. But I was shooting, and I can edit as well. So I was editing, shooting, and directing all at the same time in my head whilst I was making the film, especially under the conditions of which we got to make the film. But in those 10 days, I had to design, do props, finalize sets, and I had to rehearse the actors. So we had a script meeting, and then we have our rehearsals, and then we also had to do the fight choreography, which I did as well. So I wrote everything in a very specific way, which made pre-production a little bit easier. But I will say that doing two 48-hour film productions helped. If I've never done 48-hour film production, I would have just cancelled the whole thing and saying, I don't care if you have to wait 10 months to a year to shoot this. I'm not doing that. But doing two 48-hour film productions previous really helped. But yeah, we got it done somehow. So I've got a very strong acting background. So, when I'm directing actors, I know what they're talking about. I know where they're coming from, and I know what you respect. And, there's a line. You're hiring someone in to bring your character to life. So the first meeting I have with the actors is always context. It's a context meeting. It's about the script, but it's about the context of the script, the context of the character. I'm an actor with everything that's happening in the world, everything that's happening with the character. Just the characters, not just the characters' wants and needs, but their likes and dislikes, their history, what makes them feel tense, what makes them feel happy, and then arm them again with more context of, how does your ego react to somebody in these circumstances? What does this individual mean to you? So, if you're in the same scenario with your mom, and then in the same scenario, and then you change the person, so it's the same scenario, and then you're in the scenario with the best mate. Then you change the person again, saying it's the same scenario with an old friend that you were competitive with. How does that affect your performance? And an actor knows how it affects their performance. So you're asking an actor to bring their characterization of the context you supply, and then it's your job as the director to guide where they're aiming that. So it's consistent in the scene. You're not ever telling an actor how to act, ever. That doesn't happen. If you're on set telling an actor how to act, either you're a terrible director or they're a terrible actor. That shouldn't be happening. You should, you cast right in order to make sure that's not the case. But then the second rehearsal is so they can go through blocking. Blocking is exceptionally important when doing anything, because, you can't have two people sitting in a chair going, hello, how are you? Because that's not honest, And also we need to know where the camera's going to be, and, who picks up what first? Do I pick up the pencil first or the pen first? Well, when I'm pouring my drink, how much emphasis do I put on it? Well, it doesn't really matter what's going on in the scene. Oh yeah, and then through blocking, I know where I'm going to put the camera as well. So we block it. Then we choreograph the fight scene in one day. One day's rehearsal. I wrote the fight scene in a very specific way, because when I want someone to get hit, I want it to hurt. I love things like, people who are martial art experts, but I wanted something a bit more visceral for this. If you get hurt, bang, you get hit, you're going to go down, you might get back up, but getting back up is difficult unless you've got some kind of defense. So, basically, it's not an elongated, drawn-out combat scene, and I wrote it all in the script, so that helped us choreograph it. You step there, you stand there, you throw this punch, you block, then you spin round, and you get ready for a fight. So it made choreography much easier, and then I knew I had to put the camera again in order to in order to fake that. And the actors did exceptionally well. You know, Melissa doesn't have one aggressive bone in her body. So, you know, she's always playing very sweet roles, very compassionate roles, very nice roles. And I said, right, you're a hard knock and you're very skilled, you know? And she rose to that challenge immediately. Nina just channeled her fire. I think she did a bit of kung fu when she was younger. And both of them are qualified stage combatants. So we just used all of that to get this fight scene how I wanted. You know, two characters who might have trained at the gym and trained by themselves, and they might have done a bit of kickboxing or a bit of ninjutsu or jujitsu or whatever, you know, but ultimately you're in a street fight. So, you know, you might think I can block this, but something might come hit you so hard, you're going to go down, you know, and you're not necessarily going to get out of it. And that means your fight scene might be intense, but over in 10 seconds. And that's how we kind of went for the fight scene in this as well. The guys did it amazingly, and we just got that down. And so when it came to shooting, I knew where to put the camera in order to make it look like they were really killing each other, which I hope that's how it comes across.